Hiya, Wisnieux with you. And our first ManKinder Rising. Happy ManKinder Rising. My hands are so not symmetrical today. What's up with that? Hiya.
Hi.
Hiya, Nicole.
Hi, nice to be here this morning. Thank you so much. I appreciate the invite. And yes,
Grand ManKinder Rising to you.
absolutely. Thank you so much. I'd like to begin this day with exercise in our breath work and open the session with a prayer in correlation to the many events that ManKinder will portray for mankind in our future. So you can begin with a prayer and ask, Dear Mother, Father, God in heaven, we ask for your blessings, for your grace, for the prosperity to be upon all those who are collaborating in the Mankind Project to help humanity grow, to ascend, to experience the Golden Age, and to also experience what it's like to actually live heaven on earth. We thank you for this opportunity in coming together in oneness and in unity consciousness, that we are able to collaborate our efforts for the best and greatest benefit of all mankind. And so it is. Then we'd like to just kind of breathe in. We want to breathe in all the love light of Source in through our nose and exhale everything that does not serve us in our out breath. Breathe in the love and light of Source. Hold and breathe out through our mouth to all the things that do not serve our highest and best good. And with that peace that we are within, we begin.
Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
It's been an honor getting to know you through a nice synergistic serendipity and learn just a few of your many, many layers of wisdom and experience and capability. And we're just getting started.
Yes.
I've been not webcasting publicly for quite some time. I'm losing track of how long it's been. And in this hiatus, we've been expanding more behind the scenes, and I've really come into a fuller realization of the value of functioning behind the scenes without the pressure of public presentation, which can bring with it a lot of backlash. So what we're planning henceforth will be planned behind the scenes and then go more broadly when apropos. But we're really focusing on supporting each other, what they call a mutual, I'm always losing that term, not mutual support society. What is it?
Like a...
I put it in the description. I had it right.
Yes.
Now I'm forgetting it.
Yeah.
At any rate, it's all different fingers pointing at the moon, different words pointing at the truth. Mutual support, collaboration, family of mankind.
Yes.
And most folks, it seems, didn't have a comfortable family upbringing, so they may not know how to collaborate comfortably. I experience a lot of defense mechanisms and barriers and more service to self orientation than service to others orientation, which is understandable. If you didn't grow up having your Maslow's hierarchy of needs, your lower chakras cared for comfortably, then it's hard to have that foundation and be able to be gracious with others. And I totally accept that. People are at different stages in their evolutions. So wherever they're at, as long as we're trying to create greatest good rather than kowtowing to the dark energies that have been ruling this world for too long, as long as folks are trying to go in the right direction, then great. Wherever you're at, however much time or collaboration you're capable of, great. We're here to be of service, not try to extract from others, but to do a mutual giving and receiving. All right, that's enough of me blathering. What's been your journey? Because your family life wasn't comfortable, but you have a lot of graciousness, and somehow you've achieved that despite a lot of challenges. How would you say you did that, Nicole?
I find that my greatest strengths for meeting challenges when they appear was to remember who I was and the peace that I am within myself, and to facilitate that either by meditation or breath work or prayer, gratitude, rest. It could be reaching out to certain supports, seeing certain manifested miracles in my life, and knowing that I was divinely supported. And in those challenges, it seems to assist to help me to rise through difficult times, because we all do experience that as a human. We all experience our defenses and our obstacles, but it's really knowing how we can graciously approach that. And sometimes with kindness, it can be that icebreaker that allows that obstacle to move out of the way. And when it is felt with the heart, and it's seen through the actions, and it is listened to by the words that are expressed through the abundance of that heart, it is made manifest in the physical reality to how we play with those obstacles that may arise when they do arise.
For those who, well, let me ask it this way. Do you ever notice someone who you absolutely know that their intentions are pure, but they've just inherited a little bit of what I call narcissistic behavior because of the ways that they've been treated, and they're inadvertently passing it on, and not coming out of their shell of, as I say, service to self, and realizing that, hey, what goes around comes around. You notice that?
Yes, I've witnessed this, as we all have certain aspects of both positive and negative, and there are things that we're always working on to really improve ourselves. And I think in that destroying of that ego or that narcissistic tendencies to react in the same way that may be thrown at you. It takes time in really going within and really being honest and open with how we could approach this in a better light. And not in a sense that would accustom someone to shame or to more harm, because that wouldn't be the tendency for growth. It would be a gentle look at oneself, but with the optimism of changing towards a way that can be most beneficial towards oneself. Because oftentimes, if we allow too much turmoil to affect our own heart and our own emotions, we can then steal the peace from us that is necessary to have the strength to continue to move along. And that can create more obstacles. So, by really just being open and honest with oneself and looking for ways that we can improve, no matter how small they are, we'd be making those changes that are necessary to be the change in the world that we want to see.
But if we notice that someone has that little bit of narcissistic tendency, bringing it to their attention generally doesn't bring a positive result. Have you found any way of opening that conversation in a proactive, positive way that doesn't just result in more defensiveness? How do we help people to move out of that space?
I think the greatest way that we can affect change, when we know that, first of all, the change comes from us, but when we speak, if we're reaching their heart, it will allow them to take down their defenses to a point where they would be more willing to listen. If they knew that we were come from a sense of genuineness, of a sense of pureness of heart, it may have a more effective approach than if it was approached in a manner that would bristle, one's defense mechanisms to arise. So, if in the same manner that you had the experience of being born and raised in a very nurturing family where growth allowed you to be the man that you are and the nurturer that you were because of the examples that you had in your parents, those kind of experiences to be repurposed in the way that we are working together and collaborating with one another, even as a team or in a business, in that same family setting that allowed you to grow, is a great way of implementing it in all walks of life, because that becomes the foundational example of where we want to be and how we want to act towards others.
Yeah, and I may need to brush up on the very distinct phraseologies that are suggested by nonviolent communication strategies. Have you worked with that at all?
Yes. So by being the love that we are, and by expressing that with our hearts, by verbalizing that with our speech, by coming out from that genuineness, um, also by being firm, in our boundaries, because that's a matter of self-respect as well. But in that sense, it is really seen, it's felt in the presence of our being. And when that is more applicable to work with in a working relationship, in a family relationship, really in any type of scenario that we face. It's an ideal situation.
Great. Well, I think this particular topic is going to be a persistent one. We'll keep addressing, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of this challenge. Most folks have not been trained or seen examples of gracious collaboration. They've been trained to compete, and
Yes.
again, service to self over service to others. In theory, we talk about service to others at church and in various high-minded proclamations from various sources, but uh, the uh, the actual how-to, uh, especially in a world where I don't know that Miss Manners is very popular or, or present anymore.
Right.
So we see. I had to. I broke up a fight yesterday. In a mall, in this mall right here,
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of somewhat larger kids with bicycles, riding their bicycles through the mall, um, started a conversation with a couple of slightly younger kids, about 13 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and the conversation was intentionally antagonistic, and then it became a physical fight. So I stepped into it physically and broke them up,
Yeah.
and then not not used to having to, the opportunity or the need to physically intimidate anyone. So
Right.
it was kind of interesting,
Right.
and the security are more restrained in what they can actually do. But I'm like, yeah, I'm just I'm just gonna get in there and break them up.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
We've got all these rules. They can't touch. They can only observe. They have to call the police. It's like, oh my god, it'll be over by then.
Right. This
I'm
is
going to deal
very
with this right now.
right. It's very true. Um, Even in the work that I do, as I specialize in and with end of life care, and in particular dementia care in the elderly, there are certain aspects in their mental health, in the breakdown of their brain, where they can feel like they're losing control. And with that feeling is a sense of a great insecurity. And that can present itself in anger. And
Sure.
so, with what I do in those scenarios, is always try to take eye contact, to coach them in small things so they're not surprised, to understand where they're coming from, and with compassion try to speak to them, because it can be very scary. And I find that a lot of these patients that I've had were very cerebral in their day. They were professors, they were scientists, they were teachers, they were chemists, they were, just extreme, like, geniuses in the, as far as brain capacity. And now they're experiencing a deterioration in their brain. And so a lot of the times when I speak to them on those matters of health and condition, I'll also remind them that they have three brains. There's one in the heart, and there are neurons that are in the heart. There's another in the gut. So also by being heart-centered, by coming from our heart knowing, we can use and need oftentimes that compensation when we're experiencing deterioration in the brain. And that allows them to feel a little bit more empowered with the condition that they're facing in their life. So it does help them to feel that there is something that they can do and be in that presence, because they always have their heart. And it oftentimes dries those tears that they feel from that disempowerment, from that experience. And just the same analogy as the masterpiece, let's say an artwork. It could be very old. In an oil painting, for instance, there could be layers of debris, and it would require a person to go in and remove very gently those layers that were dirtied up the picture so it doesn't shine as brightly. But it is really seeing past the damages to know the value that is within that masterpiece. And as we are in an ascension cycle, we are all masterpieces hidden underneath those layers of debris. So if we can compassionately look past those layers, help each other to work through those areas of cleaning that up in whatever means that may be, we can shine more brightly for each other in the picture of our lives that we want to become.
Blessed perspectives indeed.
Thank you.
All right, now let's bring it down into the 3D, as it were, as they say. I want to talk a bit about if you want, about your upcoming products that ManKinder is intending to help you with.
Yes. So, as you know, I have a holistic healing business, and one of my products that I create is crystal jewelry, and that can be done in custom pieces for certain crystals that have different aspects, or if there are hypoallergenic or certain metals that may work well with the particular person. It could be sterling silver, gold plate, or copper pieces. It could be hypoallergenic steel if they have certain allergies to certain metals. I also create one-of-a-kind pieces, so no piece is exactly alike. And all of my pieces that I create using a mindful meditation. There's a reason for the amount of bead counts that I have, the amount of symmetry that I put in each piece, and the kind of stone that I use, because each stone has a different aspect of how it works. So that's one thing that I do. Another thing that I had worked on as an author is a self-publishing 2 books. One is a children's book. It's entitled Why is the Sky Blue? And it is written in a Dr. Seuss style fashion with a inquisitive little boy who questions the world around him, but learns to love and accept himself the way he is. And this is illustrated and written by myself as a way to gently bring up children and helping them to understand it's okay to ask questions. And it's also okay to love and accept yourself. The other book that I have is available through Covenant Books. It is known as the Dakini Codex, and it is a compilation of my life's work in poetry that encompasses things on metaphysics, quantum science, the nature of reality, love, um, other aspects of history or anthropology or archaeology, and its hidden structures. It even explains some aspects of how our universal complex is built. So, by creating this one book, um, it's an easy way to explain complicated subjects so that people can get that in a short period of time. Um, and finally, the other project that I'm working on is an invention known as a quantum crystal healing bath. And it is components that are placed inside the bath for a person. It involves sound alchemy, it involves light, and it involves other aspects and energy work that can be very healing and very consciously expansive for the person to reside in. So, those are things that are incorporated in my holistic healing business, and I'm happy to work with Michael ManKinder and the ManKinder projects and helping me to develop this for humanity.
We are looking forward to it.
Thank you.
We have Orit. Speaking of Orit, we mentioned her before we got started. She's backstage.
Thanks.
And Orit, if you want to either put a camera on or do your magic trick with the colorful splash of light, she knows what I mean.
Nice.
Well, we can bring you up into the conversation, or you can just type into the chat and hang out backstage.
Wonderful.
Either
Thank
way. Also, you had a good experience with a product that was sent to you.
Yes.
That we introduced you to.
Yes.
And you want to talk briefly about the reason why for that product and how you felt about
Yes. We were
about
so
it?
grateful. My fiance had a work-related injury where he had developed chronic regional pain disorder. It's a neurobiological issue that has essentially paralyzed his hand, and it causes intense pain in his hand. And one thing we were so grateful to collaborate with the ManKinder project is crowd sharing, and with other developers that were working specifically on a healing salve known as lion's balm. It has an amazing components in it for pain reduction and for management for his hand. And with that generosity, we were able to accept a container of it in which he was able to use this 3 times a day as recommended for his hand, to assist him with his healing process. And it's been a wonderful experience for us to be able to work with other collaborators and developers to help one another so that we can enjoy also a better quality of life. And especially for Sean with his hand. And since his specialists were not able to come up with a viable and therapeutic range for his pain management, such alternative treatments are really ingratiated on his part, because this is allowing him to experience a level and a kind of healing he could not attain of as otherwise. So we are very grateful for Michael ManKinder and for all the components in that team that are working to collaborate towards crowdfunding and aspects that can assist him with his hand and with his current condition.
Yeah, we've got lots more ideas coming, and Denise has been just a joy to collaborate with. She's been a friend since 2018, but our collaboration has only begun rather recently, and working on graphic design and communicating with the website developer and figuring out all kinds of strategies to bring those healing solutions out to more people. Hopefully Denise can join us on some of these calls, and we can do our check-ins privately or our shout outs publicly.
Yes.
But yeah, it was and this is such a severe pain to the point where his I'll switch this, where his his left index finger
Mm-hmm.
was injured, but it's resulted in basically I hate to use the word crippling, but
Mm-hmm.
near paralysis, really, the curling under of these other fingers, and a great deal of pain. So we know that that real lasting significant pain relief and healing is going to take time. But you've been feeling some positive result already with the Lion's Balm, right?
Yes, he seems to resonate well with it, and he refers to it as he can. He says he can smell the Indian spices in it. It's just such a beautiful herbal blend of it. It has such a wonderful scent to it, and it's just very soothing for his hand to have. There's, like I said, so many beautiful components that are placed into that salve that really is very potent. And we're sure, with its usage of its aspect and other aspects that we're working on, we can create some kind of healing that is really not available now that we see through allopathic medicine. Because in allopathic medicine, and I could speak from experience as being trained as a medical technician, that it's mostly for side effects and for dealing with those, but not really addressing the cause for the cure. And so I'm excited to work with Michael ManKinder and its collaborative projects, because we are looking for things that are going to be working with essentially dealing with the problem and not necessarily a side effect. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and I thank you very much for that.
Yeah, Denise is a heck of a researcher and very experienced with bringing products to market previously.
Yes.
So working on it now with her has a really strong potential of being very helpful to a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire purpose of ManKinder that's been percolating for the last few years has been to support each other's ventures. That's really what it's about. So if I need folks to come forward and say, "Hey, can you help bring this out to more people?" and and then we see where it's at, whether it needs graphic design or promotion or networking to any of myriad professionals. The more people we have together, the more we can help each other's projects and bring them forward. And I think I'm hearing Orit. I'm hearing some tinkling sound from over there. Is that you, dear?
Yeah, I forgot to mute. As you can hear, my voice is still not up there, not ready to really have a conversation. But I'm feeling better. I sleep a lot, and I'm recovering from this amazing upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna tell a little bit about it?
Well, it's hard for me to even describe it because I haven't been that sick in probably about 30 years. Usually I kick any colds and flus within 24 hours. If it's 48 hours, it's very long. And this one is now on its 13th day. So my mother used to say that when you get a cold, if you don't take anything, it will last 14 days. And if you take something, it will last 2 weeks. So I guess I'm one day away from out of the. Yeah, it's just surprising to me because my immune system is typically very strong. But again, the way I look at these ailments now is like a cleanse, a detox, so an upgrade of sorts. So I'm up for it now. I wasn't so up for it the first week, and I'm on the up and up. It's just going to take its sweet time, and this time I'm allowing it to take its sweet time.
So what do you think this is? What got you? How and why?
Um, well, since I see things as detox and cleanse, looking at the skies this day today is really, really gray and yucky and all that. And I know they're spraying us. There is no doubt there that they're spraying us with all kind of stuff. And there is only so much toxic load that our body can handle before it goes, "Wow, I need to clear it out. I need to throw all of this out." So that's how I look at it. Viruses, all this, I don't deal with that anymore. I don't pay attention to any of that, excuse the French, BS. So whatever my body needs to do to reestablish health, to get stronger, to get more resisting to whatever they put out there in the air, in the water, in the soil, in the food, and all that, that's good. It's all good. The one great thing that happened is I lost more than the weight that I wanted to lose. But I'm quite weak as a result of it. So slowly gaining my strength, trying to eat a little, And I'll be fine. I'll be more than fine. I'll be much stronger for it. And Michael, I think you're frozen.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I appreciated what you said regarding your health and just staying in that time of detox. So
Mm-hmm.
necessary because we encounter a lot of toxins in our environment for sure. So always keeping our system moving and cleansed out is extremely helpful, whether it be just our kidney and liver function or a lymphatic system, to always keep those fluids moving and cleansing our body so that we can obtain to optimal health.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that happened with me in the last few months is my finances have not allowed for me to get all the supplements that I usually take. So I think that was part of it, but I honestly don't believe that there are mistakes in the world. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yes.
Did you think to check regarding any increase in electromagnetic frequencies in your neighborhood? Any tower changes or anything?
In my immediate neighborhood, nothing has changed, but I am working with a new family in a very, very, very high-end neighborhood here in Westlake. And we had to take a deep detour lately to get to their house, and I've noticed at least one tower in their complex. It's a huge complex, but there is at least one tower there. Yesterday, I took the little boy to a park after school to play, and right there, next to a children park, playground, a tower. So they're all over. They're all over. Some of the people that I follow say that they no longer emit negative or harmful waves, that they're already captured and switched. I don't know. There's so many rumors out there. Everyone says something else. I don't know what to believe anymore, so I don't believe anything. I just listen to my own body and to my own connection to spirit, and that's what I'm guided by. I try to avoid those towers as much as I can, but it's really impossible. They're all over.
Yeah, I've been interested in Cal Washington's expansions of his Empower movement notices of liability, although uh, there's a bit of a cost to be involved in that,
Hmm.
understandably. Um, and Renette Senum
Yeah,
is integrating that, perhaps something similar. And I think I may have missed what I just learned about that she's doing. I think it's the second Tuesday and third Thursday of every month Zoom call, focusing on the notices of liability. So somehow
but she does,
got
Renee.
the list for that. Yeah.
Mm.
So we need to network that out.
Yeah, it's another thing is that there are unfortunately only 24 hours in a day, and I practically sleep half of them these days. There's only so much I can listen to and follow up on. And maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing to detach every now and then and take a little break from all of it
Yep.
and just
This
go
too
again.
shall this too shall pass, as you say. Looking at it
Yeah,
as an upgrade. I love your perspective.
exactly.
Well, you rest your voice, dear heart. Thanks for dropping in and
Of
sharing
course.
with
Thank
us a little
you.
perspective.
Thank you.
We'll
I
be
hope you
doing
feel well soon, as I know
more.
you will.
Thank you, Nicole. I
You're,
appreciate you. Thank you so much.
you're very welcome.
I'll let you rest your voice there, right? So Nicole, do you have? I think we should wrap up for now.
Yes.
Do you have some closing thoughts, plans, perspectives, anything you want to warn people about that's coming up
Yes.
for you?
We're just so grateful, like I said, to see the rise of community and assistance through a time that Sean is really in his need. And so we just want to say thank you to to Michael ManKinder. So thank you so much. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts, and so much graciousness. Thank you.
Oh, it's my honor. Is that extra sound on your end?
Yes.
I'm hearing some extra voices.
Yes, we are at an estate right now, so this is where we'll be getting married. And we're very grateful for this. We have a wonderful coworker, a former coworker, that just came out to give us some champagne.
Oh, wow.
From as a gift, and it was just the most gracious, loving thing that to experience in this moment. And we had a running joke. It was so funny because they have a blanc de blanc, which is a white on white, and there was a time when we had to deliver this to the rooms for newlyweds, and I guess they did not receive the kind of wine that they wanted. It was a very just rushed day overall. Yeah. So we were joking amongst ourselves that it was a blankety blanc day. Here it is. She just brought it. And she came to bring us some blanc de blanc, and she says it's a blankety blanc day today.
I'm so sorry that we didn't properly catch that on microphone and
I
camera.
know, but it's the funniest thing. We just laughed so hard. So
you're doing a great job multitasking. I didn't get it at all. That's fantastic. well played.
Well played.
Somehow.
And we just love her to death. She is such a sweetheart. So thanks to Katie Moss for that. That was such a wonderful thing.
Thank you, Katie Moss.
Yes.
So you have a history with this location. This isn't just a place that you are renting for your wedding.
Yes. I worked here for several months as a housekeeper. So, with 5-star quality. So a lot of detail work, a lot of cleaning. So we had set our intention to be married here when I worked here. And at that time, we made our down payments for certain venues. So in that manner of respect, we were like, okay, we're already committed. We're going to just follow through with these contracts and continue to work through what we had to do to get married here on the 24th of February, which is also my birthday. Sean is my divine partner, twin flame, and he's such a good man. He's a very gentle soul, very loving person, and I'm so blessed to come into that awareness of who I was and what that union could be, because that's a small part of anchoring heaven on earth. So that's why we're working so hard to make that moment manifest for us, because even in my prayers and trying to find my other half, I really wanted to do the most and best benefit for all of mankind by being in that union. And so that's why we're working so hard to try to get that done, so that we can manifest that physical union, what was already created in heaven.
Yeah, it's an amazing story, and I hope to help you both to tell it at some
Yes.
point when
Thank you.
apropos. As a fellow Piscean, I being on March 15th, you being on February 24th, and then Sean is, what's his date again?
He's a Virgo, so he's September 2nd.
September 2nd. He just passed it just a week ago. And I didn't even help you celebrate.
We're so grateful. Thank you for all of your help, Michael. You've been a credible inspiration to us.
I guess we'd helped him celebrate a little bit. At least we plugged him into some magical lines.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I think we all collectively worked some magic in terms of the surprising changes in your financing.
Yes.
That we're looking pretty nervous there for a bit until some magic happened.
Yeah, we are just so.
You were really ready to roll out the emergency fundraiser.
Yes. So
divine synergy stepped in.
Yes. So we were able to get renters assistance, which was really beautiful because his workman's compensation ceased as of the 17th of last month. His lawyer's trying to reinstate that, but there's so much I can do at his loss already. He was at 65% from what he had before from workman's compensation. So 45% was on my responsibility, but even then, we appreciate the help. So thank you.
Well, I added Sarvananda because he appeared, but hey, buddy, can you mute your microphone?
Yep.
You're in a loud environment, and I'm working off of my phone at the moment.
Okay.
I don't have proper controls.
Yeah.
Hail, a major portion of the old gang is here.
Yes.
Hail, the gang's all here. That's probably an older song than you people can remember. But this has been a weird technical and locational day. Obviously, I did not plan this much in advance, but as we have been planning to do morning calls, and really almost daily calls, at some point, it just seemed to be the right time to just kick it off now, and I only realized that like a day ago. So I apologize to all for my last minuteness, but I didn't quite realize, we're in the midst of this 9/11 holiday, and then I realized, what? I should celebrate the 2-year anniversary of being robbed and assaulted of most of my most valuable property, because that took me out from proper professional functioning for a long time, and I'm still just getting back on my feet, and I'm definitely not fully back on my feet, but as I have no interest in complaining, and that's a whole nother topic of how men may bury their feelings and issues, and how women may need to be heard, and how we may not quite understand each other's strategies because they're so different from each other. We can have that conversation another time because my battery's running down.
Right, absolutely.
And it's just a whole comedy of errors. So I'm being forced to keep this brief. But Satvananda, while we're here together, brother, you got some updates?
Am I coming in? Okay.
Very well.
Yeah, you're good now.
Thank you. Good to see everyone. Just chugging along here, riding the wave of sentient consciousness. So always happy to help. Thank you, Michael, for hosting once again. Hope everybody's well.
As I'm tapping the button occasionally inappropriately. We will.
But by the way, Michael.
I committed. Yes, dear.
By the way, I find that given the right situation and conditions, men benefit tremendously from being heard too. And they have a lot to say.
Yes.
Yes. Even crying, even simply crying, focusing. This is what we do a lot in my yoga classes that I teach.
Mm-hmm.
Even focusing on something that might be a little, uncomfortable, and then letting the crying come out as a man, especially in the presence of women and even other men, or even by yourself, that can be very cathartic, and it's actually part of our biology. Like if you don't cry as a man, bad stuff starts to happen in your like biochemistry, neurochemistry, stuff like that.
Yes.
Exactly. I remember a gathering that we had for full Mesa carriers, which is graduates of my program. And we were sitting, and suddenly Tomas was still alive, and he said, "Let's do a Ho'oponopono for a while." And we just sat in a circle and we did it. And then he said, "Okay, now men, say it to the women in the room." And the amount of tears that were flowing, it was just like you said, it was so cleansing, so clearing, so touching and beautiful. And it shifted the energy in the room so profoundly. And it was just that simple little prayer repeated again and again and again. That's it.
Absolutely. There's so much wisdom to that, even in the study of water, where Dr. Emoto had looked at water molecules. There's a difference even in the tears of what can be released in tears of sadness and in tears of joy.
Yep.
That cleansing aspect of allowing that sadness to kind of just spill over and out of the body, and just allowing that experience to be held as sacred. It's a human experience to have.
Yes.
Just because, one is masculine doesn't mean they shouldn't cry, or they're feminine that they should. This is, part of being human. And by holding that space for each other in those times of great joy and great sorrow, we can create that safety and that beauty where we can feel like we can grow exponentially no matter where we're at. So even in those circumstances of displacement or homelessness, or having certain funds being taken away or certain treatments being withheld, we all face these issues in sickness and health, and it's by holding each other up in that graciousness where we're able to feel that love and have that support, because no man is an island. But with, a great village, we can accomplish great things. And that's what Michael ManKinder is doing. So we appreciate that help in meeting us all where we're at in those areas that we do need assistance. None of us are immune to those things that we are experiencing in life. And so we appreciate that support that we have in one another to hold one another up in whatever avenue that needs to be done. So thank you.
Beautifully said. And in my experience with crying is that very often the crying of despair and pain turns into crying of gratitude, which to me is even more profound.
Yes, absolutely.
And when it turns into crying of gratitude, it's like heaven opens. It's a portal. It's
Yeah.
just amazing.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And out of that love and gratitude, we expand. So our heart opens to help one another, just as we receive the help that we have in ourselves. That's a beautiful experience. Thank you.
I'm fussing around with my cords, these connectors that are supposed to work. Sometimes work, sometimes don't. Oh my goodness. Well, I seem to have some battery power for the moment, though you're probably not hearing this headset. I think I'm on the regular microphone, right? Phone mic.
Yes.
All right, whatever. Anyway, all right, let's go around for final thoughts, and thank you all ever so very, very much for having what I call strong souls and gracious hearts and brilliant minds. True team, faux family feeling.
Absolutely. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Arit. And thank you again for all of your experience, for bringing forth your honesty, and for collaborating in love. We can do great things. Thank you.
Aho.
Yes.
Aho.
I'll sign off like I send my emails. Love and gratitude.
Love and gratitude.
Yeah, we all have our favorite phrasings. As has been heard too many times, I always say, onward and upward. Love and blessings.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good to see everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. At least some of us will try this again tomorrow, because I committed to doing this 6 days a week, Sunday through Friday. So, all right, let's see if I can keep it up.
All right. Thank you.
Hopefully better technology tomorrow.
All right.
Just don't burn yourself. Many times I find that every day leads to burnout.
Well, I know. That's why I get the Sacred Saturday off.
Yes.
Love and blessings. Cheers.
Love and blessings. Thank you. Onward and upward.
And gratitude.
Love
Bye.
and gratitude. Bye-bye.